How's it going, Commanders? Here we are with the new season adventures, and you know what that means. New hero loadouts to help you get started on clearing these missions. Now, this season is called Flannel Falls, and to be honest, it's not really one of my favorites, mostly because the modifier doesn't really help you much in terms of handling husks, unlike the last season adventures, where you had modifiers to help you bring down your cooldown of your abilities and make you almost invincible. But this season's modifier is called Escalation. You need to maintain an elimination streak to increase your power. Every 30 eliminations your team gets will trigger an elemental burst that hits nearby enemies and grants a 10% damage boost to your weapons and abilities, building up to a max of 100% extra damage. Sounds good until you read the drawback. You need to maintain this streak to keep the damage boost. If you go 20 seconds without eliminating a husk, you lose everything. Now, this wouldn't be so bad if you didn't have missions that don't really require you to get eliminations, like a resupply mission, build a radar grid, or rescue the survivors. That is where you are really SOL, since in Ventures, you can't bring your weapon schematics you got from the main game. But that's what these videos are here for, to help you with eliminating the husks without needing to worry. Today's video is about soldiers, and to start us off, we're going to focus on the minigun ability. Our commander is going to be Commando Spitfire with the commander perk Going Again. This decreases the Going Commando cooldown by 66%, which is good because this means the cooldown is going to be shorter, so we'll be able to bring up the minigun again to mow down the husks. But to help us out more is our team perk Happy Holidays. This reduces our cooldown for our ability by 40%, which is honestly so amazing because combined with Commando Spitfire, this means that we only have to wait around 10 seconds for our minigun to come back. As for our support heroes, we first got Ted with First Cup of the Day, which increases our crit rating by 10 points and crit damage by 100%. This means that when we do crit, that damage is going to be exponential. This will help us a lot with any sort of mini-boss that we encounter. Still, a little more help wouldn't hurt. Next, we have Sergeant Jonesy with Ain't Done Yet. This increases the duration of our Going Commando cooldown by 5 seconds. Not a lot of duration, but in terms of the ability, this makes it so when our minigun runs out, we only have to wait 5 seconds till we have it back online. Moving on, we have Diecast Jonesy with Boomstick. A little extra damage for our minigun can go a long way. This increases our Going Commando ability by another 25%, which will help us mow down a lot of the husks, including the tankier husks and mist monsters. Speaking of extra damage, Sergeant Winters is next with Snowin' Commando. This gives our Going Commando ability a bit more boom, where every 20 shots of our minigun shoots out a snowball grenade, doing 19 base water damage in a 0.5 tile radius. This means that you can clear more crowds of husks that are near you if you are dealing with, let's say, a smasher. Explosions are a soldier's best friend. And lastly, we have Breakbeat Wildcat with Battle Beat. Eliminating 10 enemies in 9 seconds grants Rocking Rift, which increases our damage by 50%. And with this minigun loadout, that won't be difficult at all. This, along with the modifier, will help us maintain a high level of damage to deal to the husk, which means decimation to them all. If you want to buff the minigun even more, but sacrifice a shorter cooldown, then we'll simply need to change the team perk of this loadout. This loadout switches Happy Holiday with Totally Rocking Out, and as usual, we need some rad heroes. For this, we'll be switching out Diecast Jonesy with Mainstage Quinn. Now, you know the deal with the rad heroes. Mainstage Quinn allows us to harvest wafers, which activates Battle Beat, healing us as well as buffing our damage. And Breakbeat Wildcat, like I told you before, gives us Battle Beat, eliminating 10 enemies in 9 seconds, also activates Totally Rocking Out. With these two, you shouldn't have an excuse to never activate Totally Rocking Out. In terms of power and survivability, this is the best loadout, but you will need to have a good weapon or a backup ability to help you in the long run, because the cooldown for the minigun is almost 45 seconds. Next, we'll go with one of my favorite yet more punishing abilities, the lefty and righty. These dual Desert Eagles are extremely powerful on their own, but when matched with a good hero loadout, they are insanely overpowered. To start us off with our commander, we got Raven with the perk Bang and Pow. This increases the lefty and righty damage by 25%, but this also causes the lefty and righty to explode, which deals 20 base energy damage in a 0.5 tile radius. This means that whenever you hit a husk with a single bullet of your lefty and righty, it causes a huge boom that eliminates a lot of the husks around it. As for the team perk, we'll be using Happy Holidays because the cooldown on its own is 100 seconds, which is way too much time to wait for your main ability to come back online. Happy Holidays reduces the cooldown of your ability by 40%, which means our cooldown is now 60. Still a lot, but we do have some support heroes to help us out with that cooldown. Noir comes with Pump Metal, where every elimination extends the duration of our lefty and righty by 1 second, to a max of 10 seconds, with our lefty and righty cooldown being dropped to 60 seconds and the duration of the ability only lasting 10 seconds. This means our duration will now be 20 and we'll only have to wait 40 seconds until our lefty and righty comes back online. Still, too much of a wait time, so how about we add Double Agent Evelyn with Where's Lefty? Every pistol or SMG elimination decreases the cooldown of your lefty and righty by 1 second. If you get a good pistol or SMG that does some pretty good damage, then you can eliminate a lot of the husks to get your lefty and righty back. And you don't really even need to eliminate the husks. Just make sure you tag as many husks as you can with your SMG or pistol before eliminating them, and it counts as an SMG or pistol elimination. As a little extra explosion, as if the Bang and Pow wasn't already big enough, we got Buccaneer Ramirez with hand cannons. Every 10 lefty and righty shot spawns a cannonball, dealing 51 base physical damage, which is honestly mind-boggling because this is just explosion squared. The downside for this, in my opinion, is the epilepsy seizure you're gonna suffer from how the flash of the cannonballs are gonna be all up in your face. And as a little extra damage, not just for the lefty and righty, but also for all your weapons and your allies, we're gonna buff the Warcry ability with Steel Wool Carlos using base solo, where each elimination during Warcry extends the duration by 0.4 seconds up to a max of 15 eliminations. This means if you get all 15 eliminations, this will extend the duration by 6 seconds. 6 seconds of unnecessary but highly fun destruction. And lastly, to buff our Warcry even more, we got Colonel Wildcat with Leadership, which decreases the Warcry cooldown by 17%. This would drop the already 90-second cooldown of your Warcry to 74 seconds. Add this along with the Happy Holidays team perk, your Warcry will be back online in 44 seconds. Not that bad of a wait time since the duration lasts 18 seconds. But just like the last minigun loadout, if you want more damage in Sacrifice with longer cooldowns, then we would replace Happy Holiday with Totally Rocking Out. This would not only increase the damage of your lefty and righty, but an intense amount. But just like the last minigun loadout, if you want more damage in Sacrifice with longer cooldowns, then we would replace Happy Holiday with Totally Rocking Out. This would not only increase the damage of your lefty and righty by an intense amount, but this would also heal you every time you activate it. You still need rad heroes to activate it, so you know the drill. Breakbeat Wildcat and Main Stage Quinn are necessary to activate your Totally Rocking Out perk. Wildcat to activate Totally Rocking Out with every 10 eliminations, and Main Stage Quinn to get the wafers by harvesting metal. In combination with this, any weapon that you have on hand will gain a pretty big boost, so you don't need to worry too much if you have a bad weapon. Still, it is good to carry a weapon on hand since the cooldown for your lefty and righty is now 100 seconds long. Still, if you're playing with a full team that'll help you out, these long cooldowns don't really mean much. Unlike the last season where a hero's main ability gets buffed, but their other resources like trap damage and melee damage gets nerfed, in this season, you can play as normally as you'd like. Your damage is the same. You can trap as you like, and there is no real limitation besides the lack of your original weapons. And that about does it for today. Next video might be delayed due to me being in Texas and the cold is affecting everything, including the internet. But I will try to release the next hero loadouts for next week. Next we'll talk about Outlanders and how to farm during this season of Ventures, as well as make your overpowered army. Other than that, if you commanders like my content, why not leave a like? And if you want to get more updates regarding Save the World, why not drop a follow? Until then, as always, stay safe and game on!